Hey there, grumpy old fart here. I'm doing an unexplained psychics video on Ingo Swann. Before I get into this though, if you enjoy my content, it would really help me out if you could hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, share my content on all of your social media platforms, and post a comment or two. Remember, I welcome your comments, even if you disagree with me. And check me out over on Rumble for my political commentary and weekly current events. If you enjoy a good book, check out my author page on Amazon.com. My pen name is H.L. Anderson. You can find all of my books there, including a 4-book science fiction Western series called Drifters. It's essentially a shoot 'em up fist fighting Western, but it's got elements of time travel, mythology, metaphysical, magic. Hell, it's got vampires and ancient Egyptian sorcerers in there, necromancy, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's got just about everything. If you enjoy a good story, go check them out. And I've got 9 books published over there. So find something you like, and I hope you get it. And I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it. All right, Ingo Swann. I have heard stories about Ingo Swann for years. Oh, before I get into this, my voice is still messed up from that viral thing, so it's going to be cracky, and I'm probably going to cough some, and I apologize. Please bear with me. I have heard stories about Ingo Swann for years. If you are into the paranormal, chances are you've at least heard that name. Ingo Swann made many claims which most people figure to be too far-fetched to be true. He claimed to be a psychic employed by the CIA to remote view the dark side of the moon. He said he was specifically looking for some kind of alien presence. Most of us filed his claims in the standard BS file. Then, in 2006, the CIA started releasing documents on Project Stargate. These documents confirmed that Ingo Swann had indeed participated in that project. People started paying attention to him about that point. Since he was a child, Ingo Swann knew he had gifts. He wanted to explore and develop these gifts, so he volunteered for all manner of psychic experiments. In the early 1970s, Swann was part of a study for the American Society of Psychical Research. Excuse me, his psychic gifts were proven, and he was contacted by the Stanford Research Institute, who was running Project Stargate. The Stanford Research Institute had been remote viewing all kinds of places on Earth, but with Ingo Swann, they theorized he might be able to remote view other places in the solar system. In 1973, Swann was able to give details about the planet Jupiter, which would later be confirmed by NASA probes and by Voyager 1. The only reason Swann agreed to view Jupiter was that probes were already on the way. They would be able to confirm or deny his findings. And of course, they confirmed them. Later on, in March 1975, Swann received a call telling him to meet with a man. That man handed him a card telling him to be silent and to follow him. Swann followed the man to a car where another man handed him another card telling him to be silent while they searched him for listening devices. Swann referred to these two men as the twins. Long story short, he was taken to a secret location where he met Mr. Axelrod. Axelrod offered him the chance to participate in a remote viewing project. Swann would be paid $1,000 per day in cash. Of course, he agreed because they needed the money. And in 75, that was a lot of money. I don't care who you are, that was a lot of money. Swann remote viewed the moon. He saw tracks like those from a tractor. Then he saw marks from wind erosion, which there's no wind on the moon, so. Then he focused on a crater with a green haze. Something was generating light in that area. Now, in this area, he saw what looked like a base. There was an airfield with hangars and buildings with towers and machinery. He also saw bridges and evidence of industrial activity. Then he saw domes with windows. inside the domes were near human beings. They weren't human, but they were very close. They saw him, and Axelrod ordered him back. Axelrod somehow knew that they were psychic, and then he said the project was over. About 6 months later, Swann saw a tall, beautiful woman in a supermarket. He felt that she was an extraterrestrial. He turned around and saw that the twins were watching him. He fled from the store. Later that evening, he was contacted and told to meet a contact at Grand Central Station. One of the twins was there and he motioned to a payphone. The phone rang and Swann answered it. It was Mr. Axelrod. Axelrod asked him if, all kinds of questions about Swann's interaction with the woman. Ultimately, Axelrod told him to stay away from her because she was dangerous. A year later, when Swann's remote viewing abilities had improved, Axelrod made contact again and asked if Swann had ever seen a UFO. Swann was flown to Alaska in the middle of the night. The twins were there. They drove 2 hours before stopping near a lake. Swann was told to be silent and not to move because they had left the vehicle and went down into the trees near the lake. Axelrod said that Axelrod told him, quote, they detect heat, sound, and motion. The four people observed a triangular craft emerge from the lake. It drew water from the lake and then fired energy beams down, which destroyed trees and wildlife. These guys had to move in order not to get hit by these beams. After the craft left, they got back in the car and drove back to the airport. Swann surmised that the aliens were mining the moon and the craft was a drone collecting water for them. Swann also said that the aliens are not our friends. Swann flew back alone and never saw Axelrod or the twins again. Eventually, Ingo Swann published a book titled Penetration, wherein he gave a full account of these events. Now, Ingo Swann has since died. The different articles that I read had different dates for his death, so I'm not sure exactly when he died, but he has died. His story is one which cannot be definitively verified. However, we know Ingo Swann was part of Project Stargate. That's been verified. The Jupiter probes and Voyager 1 verified the details he saw on Jupiter. There are tons of photos from the moon which tantalizingly look like the bases Swann described. These photos are just blurry enough to cast doubt, but we could put a man on the moon, but we can't get clear photos of the moon. Yeah, that's just crazy. NASA has photos and information from the moon which it refuses to show. NASA whistleblowers claim many of the photos NASA has from the moon have been edited to hide certain features. Some people have said that they hide UFOs and other alien presence. Other whistleblowers claim that NASA is hiding photos proving that there are bases on the moon. I just said that. Okay. Still, more whistleblowers claim American astronauts saw alien craft on the moon. There are people who refer to NASA as never a straight answer. So we don't know what they're going to tell us if it's true or not. The bottom line is that there is enough of his story to make it believable and just enough government obfuscation to make it convincing. So any way you want to look at it, Ingo Swann was a psychic working for the CIA. We know that. That in and of itself, to me, gives his story some credibility, some credulity, as I like to say. Anyway, if anybody else has any more information or knows anything, maybe something I got wrong, because God knows I do that from time to time, please put it in the comments. I'm sure we'd all love to read them. Hope this finds everybody well. You folks have a good one. God bless one and all.